So the First Amendment starts out, Congress shall make no law abridging freedom of speech or the press. So it's limiting the behavior of governments. It's not limiting the behavior of private individuals. It's not limiting the behavior of businesses. So let me give you an example. If tomorrow IUP were to say, we're not going to allow the library to have any books that have violent themes or racist themes. That would be government, because remember, IUP is a public institution, and therefore it's an arm of the state government. So when IUP acts, it's the government acting. So if IUP were to try to limit the kind of books that were in the library, that would be considered government censorship. That would run afoul of the First Amendment protection of speech. However, if Walmart tomorrow the director of Walmart woke up and said, you know what, we want to be more family friendly. We're going to make a statement by saying we're not going to have books that have violent passages or videos with violent passages or anything about hate groups. There's no First Amendment issue, because when the Constitution was written, it's written with the thought in mind that government has a monopoly on coercion. So while we should have norms, civic norms about what's appropriate, we don't want the government being the one to set those limits for us. And so it's inappropriate for a government entity to say, you can't say that, whatever it is. Now, as people, we might say, you know what, when you say that, I'm a little bit uncomfortable with that, and have some dialogue around it. But that's a civic norm. That's what we do as people. We don't want the government saying, hey, I'm uncomfortable with that, and therefore you're not going to do that. Because while today the government might be on the side of limiting the stuff that we also might want limited, history shows us that most often the people that the government limited were the weak and the vulnerable. In the past, it was the government limiting African Americans from having a civil protest. In the past, it was the government saying that there wouldn't be gays and lesbians that would be allowed into certain venues. Right now, the tide has turned so that it seems to be protecting people that might have what we might call hate speech, but that's not who it's protected throughout history. And either way, we don't want the government involved. And remember, IUP is a government entity. And so, continuing that theme, words have power, and that's why we want to have control of it, not the government, not IUP. And that's why we need to use our words responsibly and not have the government tell us how to do that.